Hello and welcome back to ManVFilm. It is time for another Blu-ray update video. This is time for the Vinegar Syndrome releases now. I've got a bunch of movies here from Vinegar Syndrome this month and I've seen most of them. There's one I still haven't watched, but we'll go through that. So we'll start up with the first one I'm going to talk about, which is the Chameleon, Kitten in Italy set, comprising of Madeline, Tragic Ceremony and Sex of the Witch. I've watched two of these movies. Madeline is the one that I've still to see. Sex of the Witch was interesting. It was a movie that had an interesting plot. It could have went places, but because of the direction of the movie, it faltered. It was like a 95-minute movie that included all these pointless sex scenes that were overlong, uninteresting, and just boring to watch and a real distraction. Take them out, you get a 70-minute movie that's probably really great. You add in maybe 5-10 minutes of blood and gore, you've got a really good movie here. Tragic Ceremony was really fun. I liked this one at all. Kind of supernatural gothic horror of sorts that really, again, was constructed very differently than I expected, with having its climax in the middle of the movie and then all these supernatural elements that went on. But Camille Keaton was front and centre of that movie, Tragic Ceremony, and I thought it was great. So, like I said, I've still got Madeline to go. I'm not too sure how that's going to play out. So far, it's one good one, one not so good one, and we'll see where it ends up. From Gunpowder and Sky, a movie that I watched and reviewed a while back, and that is Summer of '84. This is the 4K version. This is one of those slipcase within a slipcase, and 4K. I jumped on this one straight away. I loved the film. The film is tremendous. Set in '84. What if this young boy discovered that his next door neighbour was a dreaded serial killer that was haunting that town that summer, and the tension arises, and being a kind of lower budget movie, it really pulls it off at the ending, doing something that was really unexpected and super fun. Next up, we have The Laughing Dead. Utterly bonkers. This one was a mix of some of the worst acting I think I've ever seen in a movie, along with some of the best effects I think I've ever seen in a movie, and a story that was just completely, utterly batshit crazy. I don't even know where to start with the story. I've got a review coming up. Hopefully it won't be too long-winded, but a couple of things that I loved about this. The effects were tremendous. The running theme of basketball throughout the movie was an added bonus as well, including the survivors at the end against Aztec zombie cult worshippers, having a Aztec version of basketball game before two opposing team players turn into giant monster kaiju. Just The Laughing Dead was bonkers, absolute bonkers. Like I said, equal parts awesome and awful. Something I will go back to again and again. Incredibly fun. Laughing Dead, yep. Next up, we have another 4K disc, another one of those slips within a slip. This is Ticks, and it's got the slip within the slip, and I've seen Ticks many times. It's one of my kind of favourite monster movies from the early 90s. I think it's incredibly fun. It's silly with some of the casting. It is playful. It's homages a lot of horror movies, well, kind of poking fun at them as well. A lot of black humour in this one. Some great creature effects, and in 4K it looks tremendous. Ticks, it was a joy to revisit. Next up, we have the latest VSA, which was The Grave, a movie from 1996. Never heard of before, with an absolutely outstanding cast. Really tremendous. And this was a pure joy. That doesn't belong in the VSA range. It's something far, far superior. It's a southern set neo-noir about a urban legend of gold that's hidden within a grave. really well played out, really funny, some wonderful performances. Anthony Michael Hall is terrific in this one. It's just a really funny, simple, well-told tale that does exactly what it wants to do. 90 minutes of pure, utter joy. This was an absolute treat of a film. And last, and probably my favourite release of this month, is a 2-pack. So it's Nothing Underneath and Too Beautiful to Die, otherwise known as Nothing Underneath 2. Two mid to late 80s giallo movies, steeped in 80s fantastic scores, wonderful production values, expertly set up and executed with great mysteries at the heart of them. Nothing Underneath instantly jumped into being one of my favourite giallo movies of all time, just on one watch. I watched it again, loved it even more. I love the look, the feel, the way the tale's told, the way that they're set up and constructed. Again, there's so great deal of thought behind these movies, that particularly Nothing Underneath, which would have been an amazing standalone movie, let alone the fact that it comes with a second movie. Just as a release itself, this movie would be totally worth it on its own. Considering some of the other stuff they've released alone, this is one of my favourite releases of the year. I love the whole idea of the story, the mystery, the juxtaposition between the two twins at the heart of this one living a bustling lifestyle as a model, one as a Wyoming park ranger, with a kind of psychic link. You know, Bob goes to investigate his sister's disappearance. He believes she's been murdered, and he's thrust into the world of models, which he doesn't really care for. He's just there for one thing, and that's to find his sister, and other things happen. There's a black gloved killer taking people out. There's some wonderfully constructed tense moments, and it's one of the better giallo movies I've seen. Honestly, this has been a great month for Vinegar Syndrome so far, with only one movie I haven't liked, and the rest of them I've really liked, really enjoyed. I wonder if you've picked up anything from Vinegar Syndrome recently. Have you picked up these movies? What did you think of them? I've got reviews coming for all of these within the next week or so, so get ready. If you haven't watched them as yet, watch them. Join along the conversation. As always, there's more content up here that you can click to watch, and if you think I deserve it, hit this video with a like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe even consider joining the membership program, which would be amazing, or Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.